Okay, we're back again. We got King again. Can't be stopped. Won't be stopped. He's talking his shit no matter what. How you feeling today, bro?
Hey man, I feel like $1 million, baby.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
everything is going so kosher, man. I feel great.
Good to be free. Good to be out living life. How's the fresh air been? Honestly.
It's different, man. Like you spend a lot of time behind bars, and everything is kind of like circulated through crappy vents, and so I'm feeling amazing, man. I'm feeling amazing.
Yeah, for sure. So we've already talked about like some of the some of the more like uncomfortable shit before, but right now I think we want to talk more about like who's king now and who was king before, and kind of talk about all right, violently peaceful. Tell me what that means to you.
So it's basically so violently peaceful. It's a philosophy. It stands for yin and yang, and it's a philosophy that's been preached throughout the ages, and it's not just mine. I can't take credit for it rightfully because it's just nothing more than you can't be too violent because you'll end up in prison,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't be too peaceful because people will walk all over you.
Facts.
So it's about maintaining balance within yourself.
Hmm. And you got a whole collective that you formed at one point that carries that name.
And they're coming back. The collective is coming back for sure.
Yeah. So how did that first come together? Was it like an internet sort of thing? Was it you and your people in real life kind of formed it up, or it's just an idea you came up with and then other people were drawn to it?
Honestly, it was that I have this thing within me that I just like seeing other people succeed. And I know that may sound very contradictory towards like me and like my personality, but like ultimately I do. I like seeing people like, succeed. And that's why I've put on a lot of people who maybe won't acknowledge that, but that's perfectly fine because when you do something for the acknowledgement, then you're fake. And I don't want to be classified as that. I did it because I want the world to see what I've seen.
All that positivity is definitely going to come back. Comes laws of attract and all that type of stuff.
The
Is
laws
that
of the
kind of
universe. Yeah.
yeah? You got a lot of belief in that type of stuff, right? Is that what kept you strong during your time in prison?
No, what kept me strong was I finally realized that there was something special within me that maybe I had the opportunity to acknowledge. And I think that everyone has the same like it factor, but I think that a lot of people never realize it because of insecurities due to upbringing and family dynamics that they never really capture that it factor that will propel them to the future. But for me, I came from a very damaged family. But when I was incarcerated, I had the unique opportunity to acknowledge that, wait a minute, there's something here that I need to like grasp and that I can't give up on just yet.
Yeah. And so I know we talked about it a little bit before, but when you were in prison, you're still getting some news on the outside world. You're still getting some stuff filtered out. But when you came out, how were you like, what the fuck happened to the world? Because obviously you went in right before COVID. You said you were kind of in there during COVID. When you came out, where you're just like, what happened to the internet? What happened to trap metal? Like, how did things change? Do you find in that time?
Well, so a lot has changed, man. Like so much has changed to the point where I wasn't even put like I wasn't even going to come back towards music because I had read so many books about financial literacy
Hmm.
to where as though in 5 years I can become a millionaire. But when I started to look at the statistics and the numbers from my pages thus far, I couldn't ignore that even right now that 11 Diamond is still doing 2,000 views every 7 days. Like I cannot ignore that. Like there's something there, and it brought me back to it. It
Yeah.
brought me back to it because and like with like you see me on TikTok and all that. Like those things don't really scare me because it's like I'm me. So why they don't scare me? Because a lot of artists have trouble like integrating into, like different platforms like TikTok and Thriller and whatever the fuck that shit's called. But what doesn't scare me is that I'm me. So I can get on video and I can portray who I am as a person. So it doesn't scare me because it comes natural, because prison taught me to accept myself.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, and you found since when you got out, it's like it's all been love basically. Everybody's like glad to see you come back, but for the most part, like
Yes and no. Like, because there's still a bunch of people who are like, "Oh, you did this, you did that," and guess what? I did do that. But when I die, I will represent an actual human being because I'm not perfect. So right now, I'm not going to take glorification off of just being this, guy who got out and just glorified like the comeback. No, I did some pretty heinous, and I did some pretty disrespectful things that I am not very proud of. Now, to the extent that they've tried to portray me, no, 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 because I would have done a lot more time. Did I lay my hands on a female? Yes, I did, and I regret that every day. That's something I have to live with. But I'm willing to accept that, harness that, and move on from that, because I don't want to do that ever again in my life. But when it comes to the love, I received a lot of love from people who see me as a person who made a mistake.
yeah. So are you kind of how do you feel? Like, are you kind of disappointed in the way that trap metal went in the time that you've been gone? Are you kind of like the genre is lacking now? Did it change? Are you kind of like how you feel about it? I don't know what's going on there. Can you
That's
hear
a
me?
little bit choppy. I'm very disappointed, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm
like
very disappointed.
just like overall the way that they portray themselves, the way that like the sound went, that it never evolved. Like what disappoints you about it overall?
I think what disappoints me is that a lot of people who were supposed to be founding fathers have turned their back against it, because their motive since the beginning was always to leave the genre once they were able to suck, like succubus
Yeah,
from this, and like leeches that they probably, excuse me, that they probably are. Hopefully you cut that out.
yeah,
But I think they were able to suck from the genre what they wanted to, and now they're moving on. And that's something that X did. And like RP the GOAT, X was the greatest that ever did it. I love his philosophy. I love him as a human being. Um, like he touches me differently because I'm dealing with a career that's tampered by domestic violence, and he was also tampered by a career that was dealt in domestic violence. And I think it's ironic that a lot of people who come at me for domestic violence are ex supporters, when there's a lot of evidence showing that maybe we have a lot of similarities. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's that he left our genre, rightfully so, because that's what he wanted to do, and I'm fine with that. But I won't.
yeah. Just keeping down with trap metal no matter what. That's what it's gonna be until.
This shit. So yo, like, I've tried to do like different kind of genres and different this and that, but nothing hits to my soul. Like, I was born to do this. I'm a baby of chaos. I'm the necessary evil within this world, and I'm okay with that, because guess what? Without good, there's no evil. Without up, there's no down. Without left, there's no right. So why would I be ashamed to accept that I'm always going to be right, or that I'm always going to be left, or that I'm always going to be down? All I'm trying to do is find my balance.
Yeah, somewhere in the
I'm
middle.
fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And how important do you think that being real in this genre is? Because I've seen it time and time again. I always kind of thought that a lot of trap metal type people are more cappers. There's definitely a big like focus on being real in the
Hey,
rap
hey,
game.
you should snap out.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Good.
Yeah.
I said, what did you hear? Like I said, basically, how important do you think it is to be like real in trap metal? Like really be talking about what you're talking about to actually be doing it.
Honestly, I think it's a entertainment based platform, and I think that it's okay to rap about things that you would do. Nor do I see it like you're being fake if you've never done it. But what I don't appreciate is that when you rap about killing people and gang banging and all of the chaos of this world, but then you are now caught within paperwork that can be proven. And when you have your own skeletons as far as statutory rape, because that's something that this genre has dealt with over and over again. So if you're within those realms of statutory rape and being a narc, then I think you should hang it up because you're now tampering with other people's lives and their careers. Give it up. You're not that guy. You should maybe venture off into maybe doing pop music or country music.
Yeah. And how what would you say to people who hear these types of allegations against just general people in the underground and say, I don't even want to listen to this music anymore because it's too tampered with too many dirty people?
Well, there's two kinds of people. There's people who support um, pedophiles, and I think it's because if the feds were to look into their search engines, that they might be also indicted. Really, I think that's what it is. Like, if you're going to support a pedophile, it's probably because you search very
Yeah.
off-putting things.
Yeah.
You might tamper in and you search a little bit of and but I also think that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. So I think that you should look and you should find the people that are really doing this shit. And of course, I have my skeletons and I'm not proud of it. Like, of course not. But it's like you have to be realistic because when you search on Netflix horror films and you see somebody getting decapitated in a certain manner that maybe you didn't think that was possible, are you going to judge them? I am a very intense person, and I was a very unorthodox and uncontrolled and malicious and angry and diabolical person. And I get that, right?
Yeah.
But you came to a genre that primarily was of that essence. So when you see something that's a little bit disturbing, you have to now understand that, yeah, if it's about violence, it's not okay. What I did was not okay. But when you start to tamper with younger kids and when you start to talk to the cops, that's not an essence of aggression. Because if I watch a horror film and I see these people like talking to the cops, I'm like, that doesn't. I came to you because I'm looking for a horror film.
Yeah.
Like when you start to do weird shit, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Talking to the cops can be pretty scary, though. I have to say that some of these people, taking everybody out of the game. Um, okay, so in 2024, we got to know: is it going to be? Are you on everybody this year? Is it the pedophile hunter? Are we going to get more of the violent king, or more of the peaceful king? Are you making peace with people?
All right, listen. Honest to God, everybody who decided to choose a side should be very, very frantic.
Hmm, for sure.
Very, very. Because never mind, we're not gonna talk about it, man. But just know that these motherfuckers should be very afraid because a lot of these dick suckers and these motherfucking weirdos, right?
Yeah.
And it's cool if you suck dick if you gay, but if you acting hard and act like that's not your facade, you're a poser, bro. You know what the fuck I know, and you know that you're a fucking clown because you are standing behind something to get a bunch of views and shit. And there's a lot of motherfuckers who I'm going to destroy. I promise you, I will destroy you.
Yeah. And even past
And
like,
that's in a musical sense. That's in a musical sense. Let me get that right because you niggas love calling my PO. You love calling my PO. But as far as a musical sense, I will destroy you and your dynasty. because you niggas is lame. Because even if you think you undead, I'm the real Poppy.
For real. Yeah, so even past like personal type shit, is it like just in general, you just not even like on this beef shit, you're like, all right, I just want these weirdos out of the genre. It's just like our job to get these like fucking anybody who fucks with a child, just you're on them. Like you're just like pedophile hunter.
Well, it's that, and it's a bunch of people who condone it, and that's my problem with it because I don't have kids, and one day when I have a kid, I I I I I, I fear for the people that get to coexist within a realm where they're getting exposure for condoning that kind of behavior.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. So you got any collaborations on the way? Like any upcoming? What are we looking for? Is there going to be some different type shit? I even heard you say a Spanish song, maybe.
Maybe it might be a Spanish song, but right now, just check for me, man. Like me and Leprosy got a song right now called "Pissed Off," and it might be posted on some pretty dope ass websites. And from there on, we gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, it's 2024. So where do you see yourself at the December of 2024?
Man, I see myself a household name.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be for sure. All right. So any message you want to a message for the youth or a message for anybody? What's your to the world even?
My message to the world is believe in yourself at all means necessary. And if you can somehow within the realm of like adversity look at all of those problems and somehow reverse it into seeing the good in it, because within all adversity there's a seed of success. And when you can identify success within every problem, you will become a problem in the best fucking realm necessary. Like you will do it, bro. I promise you that like this shit, I took 4 years off type shit and I came back and I'm better than ever because I was able to take and digest and harness adversity and make it mine.
Facts. That's fucking fire. All right. Well, for sure. Appreciate you coming out for the third time, and this one's not gonna go down. And yeah, so shout out Violently Peaceful, shout out you, and shout out Knife Gang.